Well, welcome back, everybody, to the third episode in our Critical Infrastructure for Critical Infrastructure miniseries, or what I call CI for CI. We've been spotlighting the visionary leaders and companies that are powering the digital and physical foundations of our future. And with trillions of dollars being invested in energy, data centers, connectivity, AI infrastructure overall, this CI for CI moment is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And it certainly demands courageous and next level leadership. And that's exactly what today's guest brings to the table every single day. Katrina Redmond, one of my favorites, just amazing EVP and CIO of the Eaton Corporation. With revenues of nearly $25 billion in 2024, the company serves customers in more than 160 countries globally. Eaton is powering the next generation of infrastructure, both digital and physical, and Katrina and her organization are right at the center of it all. But what makes Katrina really stand out is the how. She leads with bold strategy and operational clarity. She leads with grit, grace, and gratitude. And you're going to hear her talk about her signature embrace the red mindset, how she creates truth-telling cultures, how she facilitates global transformation, and how she shows up for the next generation of women and tech leaders. So buckle up because we've got a powerhouse story to tell. Well, Katrina, welcome to the podcast, and thanks so much for allowing me to shine the light on you and this amazing company. I want to start with talking about the role that Eaton plays in powering the next generation of physical and digital infrastructure from data centers to the grid and beyond. So please tell us about your business and maybe just talk about the size and scale of this international behemoth.
No, hey Dan, thank you so much for having me on Tech Whispers. I'm a huge fan and I've watched many episodes, so thanks for having me. For Eaton Corporation, we're a global intelligent power management company. We operate in about 170 countries. We have 95,000 plus employees. We're about 27 billion plus and growing. We've done a few recent acquisitions as well. We are focused on the future with critical energy requirements and needs in the aerospace industry, as well as the vehicle, e-mobility industry, and our largest segment, the electrical industry. So we serve utilities, data centers, various companies out there on their various energy demands. So it's a pretty exciting space at this point in time. As you all have seen with the AI explosion, there's so much happening within this space, whether, it's with sustainability, how we service solar, wind, et cetera, and then powering these data centers that have so much demand at this point in time. It's really an inflection point in history for all of us.
Yeah, what an exciting time. And this company is special in so many ways. And, one of the things I'm so impressed with, as you and I were chatting earlier, is you don't have relationships with customers. You have decades long, deep relationships with your customers and a very thoughtful growth path. This whole concept of right to play. I'd love to have you talk about what that means and just those customer relationships you have.
Yeah, that's a really big one for us. What gives Eaton, the right to show up in the room, the right to put together a package or a solution for our customers. It's a really big part of how we think culturally. What does Eaton piece together that makes a total solution in some of these cases? We do have historically long customer relationships that are really deep and meaningful. We've partnered over the years, facing various challenges together. And as we're growing, into this future, demand for energy, those relationships just become more and more important. It was actually one of the reasons why I wanted to join Eaton several years ago. It's a company I've known about my entire career, quite honestly. And it's always been a company known for its product quality, known for its engineering excellence, and known for those partnerships, those customer partnerships. So they're a big, part of the success and the focus for Eaton.
Yeah, part of the special sauce there too, which was evidenced by eighth year in a row being recognized as Fortune's world most admired companies And I think you've got this mantra that I love, which is it's about the work, not the flash.
Yes, absolutely. That's true. We do focus on, going deep and understanding the various issues. And it's not that surface component, that flash that you see in a lot of places that if it's not there, you scratch an inch deep, it sort of goes away. We're really built and focused around the substance of these various areas that we're playing in. And it's meaningful to us. There's a lot of substance here for sure.
And maybe just zoom out for a minute, Katrina. I'd love to just get, maybe just kind of tap into some of the macro trends, the mega trends, what you're seeing from an Eaton vantage point. You've alluded to a little bit, and then just how Eaton is so good at connecting all the dots.
At this point in history, with the digitization of literally everything, everything you buy, everything you touch, there's so many components of that are connected. Everybody's online. It doesn't matter whether it's your oven, whether it's your phone, whether it's your iPad, whether it's your car, whether it's how you're, interacting day to day with these new AI tools. We have sensors on shop floors. We've got manufacturing digitization that's happening with automation and robots, et cetera. It's really something we've never seen before, and it technically is moving at a speed we've never seen before. So all of those different components in that connected environment really drives demand for the work that we do within Eaton Corporation, and all of the pieces of our puzzle that really put together a package that supports the data center market or supports some of those smart tech within vehicle or within aerospace. That's the work that we're doing. And our engineering teams and our sales teams are always working in partnership to find ways to make things more efficient, to work more fluidly, to be smaller, to optimize space usage. I mean, every single part of that value chain is constantly being reviewed and renewed from an engineering perspective and solving for specific areas of interest. Um, I don't know if you've heard the statistic, but they're saying like $900 billion of investment for S&P companies in the data center market is happening over the next several years, while the balance of the S&P is investing $950 billion in capex. So that data center component alone versus the balance of the S&P and all of the other resources and capex investments, they're about equal. So the demands on, utilities and the number of gigawatts you're going to need, the pure computing power that needs to be brought online to support all of these various requirements is pretty dramatic. And within Eaton, we're trying to be there to support those efforts in the most fluid, sustainable way possible.
Yeah, that's what makes this miniseries so special and so timely. That kind of investment, this inflection point in our country, our financial ecosystem, our economy, and you've got a big job. I mean, you're always very humble about it. You're very calm about it, but you've got global responsibility. You just had your remit added to recently, so could you just maybe shine the light on the hats you wear, the roles that you play there?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. This has been one of the most exciting roles that I've had, and it's been growing in many different ways since I've been here, which is wonderful. You can, be fluid and grow with the business as the business is growing. So I feel very fortunate in that. I'm the Chief Information Officer for Eaton. We support the global environment, and then also the new sort of AI focus for Eaton. That's happening within my space as well. And we're partnered in different ways with different parts of the business. The engineering team, for example, with product AI advancements, and then some of our revenue generation components with our BrightLayer product and how we're helping our customers get insights from data in order to take actions and be, predictive about the work that they're doing. So it's a really exciting time, and it's a lot of different spaces to drive value. And what we're trying to do within, my particular world is connect the dots between the work that we do and delivering business outcomes. So we don't want IT or tech for the sake of tech. We want it to be sort of user driven, case driven on, different areas that can drive value for Eaton Corporation. So the really kind of exciting part is when we're partnered with the teams out in the various parts of the business and the different regions, delivering outcomes for our internal customer pool, but especially our external customer environment. So that digital customer experience and all of those components that hopefully are driving an ease of doing business with us so that they can all accomplish the work that they need to accomplish. So it's really an exciting time, and I feel very fortunate to be here in this role.
Well, I want to double click on some of that here in a couple of minutes, but I want to introduce our first mystery questioner, Katrina. And one thing you didn't mention is that you also are reporting out to the board, and a great interaction going on there. So I'll just preface it with that. But yeah, listen in, and we come back. Tell us who this is, and have fun with the question.
I love this part. I can't
All
wait.
right, here we go.
Katrina, as one of your board members at Eaton, I am super impressed with the speed at which you move to get results in this age of digital transformation. Whether you have alignment with the business and the resources all lined up or not, you really get results. So my question is, what about in the age of AI, when it's very uncertain talent? There is no blueprint for moving forward, and you still want to get results.
Oh, that's terrific. Many of you may recognize her voice. It's Karen Ann Terrell. She just joined our board recently at Eaton, and she's been a gift that since she's gotten here. I literally did not know her before her joining our board, and she's extremely supportive, extremely knowledgeable, and she's been very supportive, in all of these different topics that are so relevant right now. So thanks, Kat, for the question. I would say there's so many different focus areas for us. There's not a situation in an industrial world where you can be a Meta and throw $100 million at an AI talent pool, for example. That's not how we operate and typically get results. So we've done a lot of retraining and reskilling of our existing teams to really face into the work that we need to do with AI. We've taken our RPA resources and other parts of our innovation team and pointed them toward the work that we need to do with AI. And what we did, we sort of tried to create a groundswell of particular focus areas so that we could sort of bring the business along with us in this AI explosion. So we've done a lot of catalyst projects that have given the business confidence in our capability to execute some of these new technical outcomes. And I think that's how we sort of win support along the way. And we're partnering with the business teams, rolling our sleeves up, trying to figure out what the problem is and the best technical solution to bring to the table to solve for it. And I think that really helps our particular part of the company gain credibility and gain sort of a trustworthiness in order for us to be at the table and helping provide solutions and the talent that's needed to apply to whatever problem we're facing. But we've been really focused on key outputs, like we created a tariff AI tool in the middle of the tariff challenges that we were all getting on a day-to-day basis. How's that going to affect us? How do we appreciate how that affects our customers? How do we manage that with our supplier base? So we were able to spin up tools in partnership with our supply chain team in order to address some of those needs. And by doing those kind of point specific projects, it's really lending itself to our, credibility and partnership with the business. And I honestly think that's the secret sauce is, having, your say-do ratio be high and not being afraid to take on, challenges as they come and really leaning in with the business, helping them get to the solutions that they need to get to so we can support our customer base.
I love that. I love I've never heard that, the say-do ratio. So basically do what you say you're going to do, right? And, the other one I find our profession falling prey to is I call it the no-do gap. KNOW.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we know it, but, do we actually go do it? But I love it. Well, Karen Ann, thank you as always. Just such a great friend and so respected in our industry. I'm glad she's on your board. And she actually recorded this question around the board meeting recently. Because I
That's
happened to catch her at the wrong time, and she's like, "I'm going to get this done." So
That's terrific. She's
yeah,
got so much energy. She's truly. I've really enjoyed her being here, and I really do appreciate the question and her time as well. We had a really exciting and interactive board sessions last week, and so much happening. She's a
yeah.
great addition to the team.
Well, when Kat's in a meeting, it's bound to be exciting. You just and the details will take care of themselves.
I know, and she's an electrical engineer by education. So for her to be on our board and also have the tech skills and then this electrical engineering background, it's really a marriage, a marriage made in heaven, so to speak.
For sure. Yeah. We've got on the heel. How do you follow up Karen Ann, right? But we have another really special mystery questioner and little special hint here, a little small hint. This your answer, I think, is going to help us get some insight into your former life back in the GE days and just how special it was back there in that environment. So listen in and tell us who this is once we come back.
Hi, Katrina. I'm honored to ask you the mystery question on your leadership superpowers. Grit and perseverance, both of which you demonstrated while leading from front during adverse times. We went through a very complex project together. How did you handle the challenges and at times setbacks while keeping the team engaged and motivated to deliver long-term project goals?
Oh, that's a sheesh Gupta, and you're going to make me tear up. We were in the trenches together quite a bit back in our GE days, and I actually call him for advice ever since I've left the GE bubble, so to speak. He's someone I trust and I have a lot of respect for. So, Ashish, thank you for your time and asking the question. We had so many different challenges put in front of us collectively in those GE days. As you all know, the GE story, it was an incredible training ground. It really created an environment of growth and exposure to different parts of the business, different functions. So you got a lot of muscles constantly stretched and exercised that makes you kind of, rounded in a different way. So we faced into quite a bit, with our businesses being segmented. And then obviously now they've spun off into three different arms beyond sort of the GE history. And they're all performing quite well and doing quite amazingly, which you would expect with the talent within those communities. But those were some, rough evolving days. So we had a lot of project challenges, financial challenges, trying to finish projects that had been started that the businesses needed. It was constantly trying to reposition and figure out faster paths at lower cost. So I think the sort of the magic behind all of that was just being able to be nimble, know that change is a constant, lean into it because you can't stop it. And, really trying to leverage various areas of experience and your network to accomplish things that were becoming more and more difficult. So I think all of those things really help in situations of challenge like that. You don't run across those kinds of challenges and, kind of every day. So it really, I think, developed a lot of us, in good ways because you get resilience, but it also really reinforces that agility piece and trying to have clear thinking and clear objectives of what the priorities are so that that remains your focus and your North Star. So I would say, part and parcel of all of that is kind of what saw me and us through a lot of the challenges we were facing back then. But Ashish, thank you so much for the question.
He was excited to do it. He shared some of the history together. I asked what was in the water back then, all these amazing leaders who have come out of GE. And he talked about the different leadership programs that you go through there. It's a set program. And
Yeah.
over time, everyone gets through them all. And so it's pretty special. So Ashish, thank you. And now CIO of Next Era Energy, which is a fascinating energy play as well, right? Building out
Absolutely.
new
And he's
power.
done some really innovative things there with Nextera. It's one of the premier, if not the premier, sort of utility company in the country. They've really been on their front foot with innovation and driving outcomes to support their market and keeping consistent, reliable energy and affordable energy possible. So he's done a phenomenal job.
Hopefully we'll see him on Tech Whispers someday soon. It was just great to get to meet him through this podcast. So
He would be a great addition.
yeah. Well, you know who I'm going to call for a mystery question when we do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm available.
His question makes me think of a couple of the Katrina isms that I really appreciate. One is your courageousness around embrace the red.
Oh,
What does that mean when
you have been talking to some people.
we do our homework here for sure?
Evidently. I love that. Embrace the red. So yeah, I for good or for bad, I guess I'm always looking for the opportunity that we need to focus on next. I should probably celebrate more of the stuff we turn green, but I'm always looking for what is it that is the next thing that we can focus for improvement. And a lot of times people put together, scorecards or dashboards or whatever, and they're really concerned when there's too much red on the page and not enough green. But I think of it more as opportunity. If everything's green, then maybe you're not challenging yourself hard enough. How do you go to the next target, climb the next mountain? So I don't think red's necessarily a bad thing. It's bad if it stays red, but you want to find what's the next, hill you need to climb in your journey. And even if you get it from red to green, how do you change the target so that you're then taking it to yet again another place? So, yeah, we say embrace the red a lot. And I don't like to see a bunch of green scorecards with everything's perfect because we always know there's a continuous improvement opportunity. So that's sort of the theory behind embrace the red.
Incredible. And along with that, you never know when ideas or inspiration is going to come. But tell us where this came from and what it means when you talk about your Festivus sessions.
Oh boy! Oh boy! All right, I thought that was more a secret community.
Well, okay, we can
Not.
keep that on the down low.
You really are into the nooks and crannies. So Festivus. So yes, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. I think I've seen every episode a million times. Love that series. But there's one thing in there where they do Festivus, and the dad walks in and says, I've got a lot of problems with you people, and he goes through all of this with the feats of strength, et cetera. But we approach it as with my leadership team, and it's a way for us to do the airing of the grievances. So that's part of the holiday, the Festivus holiday. And like once a quarter, we started more than, I don't know, 2 years ago, I think at this point, just, make sure the infrastructure person is talking to the application leader, is talking to the AI leader, is talking to the cybersecurity officer, because we are all interconnected and we can't do our jobs individually if we're not doing our jobs collectively. So we tagged it, we need to have a Festivus session. And when we've got a tough discussion to have amongst us, we just try to say, defuse the situation by saying, you know what, we just need to have a tough discussion. Things aren't happening the way that they need to happen. And honestly, there's magic in that diffusing the conversation you need to have. It's not personal, it's about the work. And so many priorities are on each of our plates. We're not necessarily sure all the time how what I'm doing is impacting what someone else is doing or not able to finish because it's their priority. So it's really just being direct and open with each other. And it's a way to have a little bit of fun with it. I'll tell you, the first session was really painful. And it wasn't the HR person was in there. He's thinking, we're going to have some sort of a complaint filed or whatever. We didn't end up having that happen. But it was a way to open the communication channels between our team leaders. And ever since, it's become, I think, part of our strength. There isn't anything that we can't talk directly to each other about. My leaders don't come to me and say, hey, I'm having a problem with cyber. I'm having a problem with the infrastructure. They go to each other and talk about the issues and the opportunities that they have. And when we've got to reprioritize collectively, they may come to me, but they sort out their own things. And it's really opened up a lot of good communication channels for us. oddly enough, Festivus.
I love it. That's a special culture to be able to do that. Mark Brooks, a longtime CIO, award-winning CIO as well. He builds a culture similar. He calls it basically it's they have feedback sessions, but it's always a question of, hey, I've got some feedback for you, Katrina. Is today a good day?
Yes.
And it may not be, right? And so we'll regroup, but it's just a great way to create that dialogue. And this has been a series around, we call it critical infrastructure for critical infrastructure, or CI for CI. But this next mystery questioner is going to spin this a little bit. We're going to call this critical inspiration for critical infrastructure. So
Okay.
listen into this next question. You're going to love this one.
Katrina leads with a rare blend of strategic clarity, operational excellence, and genuine warmth. It's a combination that makes her not just effective, but deeply inspiring. So, my question for Katrina is, one of the few women in the C-suite of a global industrial company, you carry a unique kind of visibility, not just as a leader driving transformation, but as someone who others look to for representation and inspiration. How have you embraced that visibility in your leadership journey? And what has it taught you about the kind of leader you want to be for your teams, your peers, and the next generation of women in tech?
All right, that's Caroline Eberl, and she's quite the firecracker herself. So thank you so much, Caroline, for the question. And we miss you in Northeast Ohio with all the work that we're doing here, and wish you well on your continued journey. Thank you so much for the question. Part of the kind of the biggest gift you get when you're in these roles is helping and watching other people's careers develop and evolve. So it's definitely something that I have on my top 3 list of things I'm constantly thinking about is, seeking out that talent, trying to help others on their way. And I really appreciate when people lean in with solutions. So many really good talent out there sometimes maybe overthink solutions instead of just trying to jump in and solve for an opportunity. And those that can kind of jump in and sort of rise to the occasion on whatever challenge exists really kind of get noticed. And then you try to help them along in their journey and their careers. So it's definitely something that is constantly being worked, and then trying to make sure you're leaving it better than you find it, because we always evolve and move in our careers, et cetera. And you want to make sure you're leaving behind a strong, capable team. And I've been very fortunate over the last 20 plus years to have seen and helped others on their journey. And then I look back and now they're the CEO of the company or the CIO of the company, and are they running supply chain or running sourcing and inventory. And it's really meaningful when you can be a part of those journeys.
Yeah, Caroline is special people, and just think the world of her. She is a rising tide for everybody, a super connector. In fact, she's the one that connected us originally, so I'm so appreciative.
100%. And she, her energy level and just knowing what makes people tick and how to connect the dots, and, really trying to bring people together for no reason other than it's good. It's a good thing to do. She's just genuinely a good person, a good human. So I'm right there with you. Glad to know her.
Well, people like Caroline, people in your inner circles, people who know you well, you're spoken about as the epitome of a servant leader, Katrina. And I'm just curious how that shows up in how you lead, how you think about people, the kind of culture. You talked a little bit about the culture, but I really admire how you build that culture of internal mobility. Always trying to help people grow into the next opportunity. So I think that just, maybe this will pull from your GE training days, right? In terms of how you do this, how you think about it.
That it was so funny when I don't even remember how many years it's been now since that servant leader came up. And at first I literally had to go look it up. I thought, what is this exactly? And I went through the list of kind of what what describes it. And I thought, that's exactly right. In all the roles that I've been in, I started my career the first half in operations, sourcing and inventory, supply chain. I was a COO at one time. I've had a lot of different experiences. And then I moved into this sort of IT space. And what I realized, I think, through all of that is I'm not the one on the front line selling it. I'm not making it. I'm not shipping it. I'm not doing all of those kind of value added pieces. But we're enabling everything I've ever done is tried to enable those particular components that help a business move forward, either with a tailwind, or a headwind. And I'd prefer obviously to be the tailwind. So I think that servant leadership concept is actually a really positive one because it really kind of removes the conflict of what you're hoping to achieve. Like you're really after the business outcome. How do you drive on time delivery? How do you drive technical outcomes for, growing the business or for making something, faster, cheaper, smarter, and it taking less time so that the talent within your community, benefit from that and really trying to get into the details of it. So I think understanding the processes, understanding what, you know, removes barriers, and then becoming part of an enablement is a really powerful thing. And, I want a salesperson to say, I'd take her with me to the next place I go. I'd take, Katrina with me to the next, sourcing and inventory opportunity or IT opportunity or whatever it may be, because, we stayed focused on the right things to deliver value for the business and the business outcomes. So that's how I think of that. And it makes me happy now to consider myself part of that sort of leadership community.
You certainly are in spades. And, we're going to build on that a little bit with this next great mystery question from one of your industry peers who I know you have great regard for, and she does for you as well. So check this one out.
Hey, Katrina, I know that you find it really important to develop the next generation of tech leaders. So, what's one piece of advice you would offer to aspiring technology leaders looking to make a significant impact in their field?
Well, Katrina, I just want to jump in first, thank Amy Brady, who is just a rock star in our industry. We shine the light on Amy. I think it was back in February of this year, and just what a gift to get to spend time with her. But I know the two of you are instigating a lot of great things there in Northeast Ohio.
She's amazing. Amy Brady is I literally don't know what she's not involved in to the good. I don't know that I've ever been fortunate enough to be in an ecosystem or an environment with someone as supportive as she is. So it's pretty incredible what she does. Honestly, she does so much work for different institutions in the Cleveland area, and she's an inspiration, quite honestly. No doubt. I think this space is evolving so much, and it's been evolving for the last couple of decades. But I think the next few years and the next decade are going to be so dramatically different. My advice would be to lean in to all of the tech and the capabilities that exist because it's truly going to transform. It's a generational shift in how we work. And you've really got to be comfortable with the acceleration of that. And you can't really avoid it. My advice to tech leaders is learn as much as you can about what's out there, try to find practical ways to apply it, then try to find big bets where you can apply it. And if you're doing all of those things, the value proposition for your organization is going to be extremely positive. So that would be my advice in a nutshell, quite honestly. But it's an exciting time to be in tech, and there's so much more ahead of us, and it's going to be moving at a crazy pace.
Yeah, I think that is the only mindset we can have today, right? And it goes back to your earlier comments about being nimble and resilience and all that. And big shout out to John Rossman, we had on the podcast. He wrote the book Big Bet Leadership, and it's just so good on those big bets. But thank you, Amy, for all that you do. And Katrina, there's another mystery questioner that will kind of shine the light on how you are serving the broader community, profession, those, even beyond the walls of Eaton, which we see behind you there. So listen in on this next mystery question, and we'll have some fun with this one too.
Hi, Katrina. I've always admired leaders who take an authentic and a real interest in developing ties to the communities that they live and work in. Can you tell us a little bit of your sense of community and peer-to-peer relationship building, how it's not only impacted your business, but also how it has influenced your ability to lead others?
That's Mark. He's right here in Cleveland with me. We're actually part of some of the same communities. I what I honestly believe, and I've got to tell you, I didn't appreciate it as much earlier in my career, but these peer-to-peer relationships, building these external networks are extremely important. And it's so good when you can pick up the phone and call someone like Mark or call someone like Amy or Ashish and talk about, what's happening within your space. You might have a challenge in a particular area. They may never have had that challenge, but they can refer you to someone that they know did. And you can talk very practically about what is happening, and they can give you really good insights and advice to help speed you along. I honestly think of this cyberspace probably top of mind. It's the one space where we're all trying to help each other, protect our companies, protect our assets. And it's the one place where you're not thinking about competition anymore. And you're not thinking about, divulging something because, you're trying to keep an edge. It's the place where we're all trying to compare notes, try to understand, what just happened on the last announcement. Are you protected in the right ways? Is there a tool that's out there or some sort of capability that's out there that you haven't tapped into yet? Should you be tapping into it? So I think of these peer-to-peer relationships, whether it's cyber or AI or data. There's so many things that we're all sort of going through that we can help each other with. And then it's really just great to have a community of people that you grow your friendships with because you have similar backgrounds and similar histories. It makes for sort of nice fits from just an overall friendship perspective. So I'm really trying to focus on that more and spending more time and making more time to grow those external partnerships and relationships. It's really important.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Former GE
Yes,
guy,
that's right.
CIO of Masco, and
Yeah.
just great human being. You made me think of Deneen DeFiore, who I don't know if you know Deneen,
Yes,
the CISO for United Airlines. She is just brilliant, and
she is
we did
brilliant.
we
She
did the
actually
podcast.
used to work with me and actually for me at GE, and she likes watching her continue to grow. And she went to GE Aviation and then United. She is a rock star talent, absolute rock star talent.
I had no idea. I just mentioned her name because when we did the podcast together, she said, from like a cyber perspective, a safety perspective, the airlines collaborate. She goes, we don't
Yeah,
compete on those things, right?
exactly.
We do compete for passengers and customers,
Yep.
but it's just great to see that. But yeah, well, that's I can now hear some of Katrina's coaching and my interview
Ah,
with
no,
Deneen. She's pretty.
needs no coaching, but I'm a huge fan of hers, and she's just really a great talent. So I'm super happy that our paths crossed for many years, and we've stayed friends. So I'm super happy to see what she's doing at United.
Small world. The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon are down to about two, I think, maybe one.
I agree. That whole GE space, I think it could apply, no question.
Definite. One of the things we do on the podcast, and I just thank my team for this. We started years ago doing this Tech for Good scholarship, and had no idea the impact it would have over time. But we've committed over $400,000 in scholarships to STEM and STEAM nonprofits to date, and no end in sight. I think there's 3 dozen nonprofits that are benefiting going through our Tech LX leadership program. So I don't know how you're going to decide this because you've got so many organizations that you're a part of and you support, but is there someone you want to gift a seat to?
Yeah, and I know that you probably hear it a lot, but Girls Who Code, we're really big fans of that organization, and it really provides a lot of access and skill to our community. And I would love to do it with Girls Who Code.
Amazing. That is a world-class organization making real impact. Real impact.
And I love how, I mean, they're already talking, how are they evolving in this, AI world? So they're looking at how does that affect their program? And I think it's a great organization. I agree with you, Dan, completely. So thank you for that. That's a big deal. And $400,000, I mean, how much help that's provided, that's tremendous. So congratulations on that. That's wonderful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Start small, right? And then over time, you just stay the course and
Stay the
you
course.
look back and like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a better way to kind of put a wrap to our podcast than one more mystery question.
Okay.
Someone who knows you very well. And so, yeah, listen on this one. This will be fun for you.
Hi, Katrina. So we have worked together over the last 3 years, and you have been a huge influence on my career. My question for you is, when you think about your legacy, not only at Eaton, but in the entire IT world, what would you like your legacy to truly be?
That's Allison Magyari, and I am a huge fan of hers. She is a hard worker, and without her kind of partnership and help along the way here at Eaton, it would have been very, very difficult. So I thank you, Allison, for all of your support and your partnership as well. I think leave it better than you found it. That's kind of, if I think about a legacy, always, leave it better than you find it. And I'm hoping that that would be true in my history. And I certainly hope it's true with Eaton. It's the time we spend at work is meaningful. It's so much a part of our lives, and it enables so many other things personally. It's something that you want to know that the work that you did mattered, and that you brought it, forward, and you tried to continue to make it better. Sometimes that's hard, and sometimes it's not super fun, but you hope you get to the other side of those points so that you're taking the team and the business and the support and the enablement, to better places. So I would just say simply leave it better than I found it. That would be what I hope.
Yeah, amazing legacy, and you're doing that everywhere you go. And thank you, Allison. She's a like you say, she's a powerhouse. I mean, we were chatting for a little bit, and she had just come in from, I think she was doing a TED talk or preparing for a TED talk, and I'm like, "What's your TED talk about?" She goes, "Well, I I broke my neck years ago, just the whole recovery." I'm like, wait a minute, what?"
She's something else. She's truly something else. And she's so positive and so bright. And she's a gift. I'm super happy to know her. She's amazing though. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she was really helpful, as was Barb Adwell. How do you say Barb's last name?
Yeah, Adwell Parker.
Adwell Parker. Yeah.
Mm.
They were just so excited about this. And,
No.
Barb was really talking about how she appreciated your tenacity, your courage. And, one of the things I've seen with you as I've gotten to know you better is just how you show up. You get stuff done, but you do it with grace, you do it with class. You have so much gratitude. Like you make people that, you make people feel like they're doing you a favor when you're actually doing them a favor.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. My dad would be happy to hear that. No, that's nice to hear. It's really nice to hear. I mean, it's a gift. Like you work hard in your life and things happen. But it's a gift when you get to be surrounded by so much talent and so many capable people. It is a gift. And I'm super happy, of my journey. I can't complain.
Well, Katrina, the time flew. I knew it would, but it's just so fun to be with you, and just I know it's going to help so many people. This conversation we had in just terms of the way to think today, the way to lead today, the way you approach these different things, the Katrina-ism. So thank you for just being so open and candid. I know this is not your thing, right? So,
No,
uh, your Georgia upbringing certainly shines through. But appreciate you and who you are, and just all that you do for your company, your family, your community, our profession, and just appreciate you.
no, Dan, back at you. This broadcast, I mean, this is a thing that we all enjoy listening to and we get so much value from and make connections with. So what you've built here is pretty darned incredible. And we certainly are all always happy to be participating. So I'm super happy to be included. And I really appreciate that. And I've enjoyed the time. So hopefully it was productive. So thank you.
Well, Katrina Redmond, so special. You just got a sense of that. I'm just so happy to be able to shine the light on her as part of this critical infrastructure for critical infrastructure mini-series. And just thanks to Katrina and Eaton. Thanks to Mike Adams, who we had recently from Black and Beach. And thank you to Afshin Talasaz as well, who was at Colonial Pipeline. And, just Katrina's story just proves that strategy and execution can absolutely coexist. And I love her grit. I love her grace. I love her gratitude. I just love her laughter as well. She's just such a special, genuine person. And we learned how she does unique things like embrace the red, right? And truth telling and building a culture around that. Huge strength, huge superpower. And again, thanks to Allison and Barb once again from Katrina's team for helping me shape this. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Tech Whispers. And please subscribe, please share, and join us next time as we continue to amplify the top digital and tech leaders of our times. Next episode, 2 authors, 2 new books, AI. Don't know if you've heard anything about that topic, but we're going to get into it in a big way. So until then, stay well.